Hello, and welcome to the Frequency Therapies or Frequency Tools for LMT's workshop. I am Melinda Liu. I'm a licensed massage therapist, also a mentor and success coach for massage therapists and educator, mostly of frequency tools and LMT success. So today we're chatting all about frequency therapies, frequency tools, and how to incorporate these into your practice. To give you an outline of this chat, and by the way, I'm just doing this all off the top of my head because I've been teaching this for a while. And so we're going to start with a big vision, like how I want you to think about frequency tools and frequency therapies and technologies, kind of the general mindset around it. And then we're going to slowly get more and more fine-tuned to how I specifically incorporate them in my practice and giving you just an example of how I'm doing it. Okay. So let's start with what are frequency therapies, tools, and technologies. Okay. I have my own definition of what I think this is, and this is still sort of a growing field, if you will. So it's not, you can't go to a school to learn these things. This is all sort of, like I said, an emerging field. In my opinion, a lot of these tools and technologies first came from the government and various organizations like aerospace engineering, like very scientific and advanced technology, creating sort of health technology, health tools, and also mimicking parts of nature. Like, for example, infrared heat or infrared rays comes from the sun. That's natural. You receive infrared from sunlight. And so the ability to actually create a tool or a device that also has infrared is mimicking the sun in a lot of ways. Same thing with terahertz. Terahertz frequencies come off of fire. So when you're sitting next to a campfire, you can actually be receiving terahertz frequencies. But now they have also harnessed terahertz frequencies in a tool or technology that you can use. You just plug it into the wall. Now you have terahertz frequencies. Okay. Light, sound. All of this is like really not new concepts. The entire universe is created on light, sound, energy, vibration, frequency, resonance. So this is actually how our universe is set up already. And we're exposed to a lot of this in the natural world anyways. All this technology is doing is trying to mimic it or harness it and create it in a convenient, that's really the best word, is that it's convenient for us to utilize these tools and technologies to really, I'd say, concentrate some of these specific frequencies, whether it's light or sound or terahertz or infrared or what have you, so that, yeah, a practitioner can utilize it or someone can use it for self-care. Okay, so none of this is new, even if it's a new concept to you. Like I said, a lot of this is inspired by nature and then first created by the government and like high level organizations. And then by the time it gets to us, it's already worked out all the bugs. It's, more affordable, convenient, and, safe for the public. So I will go into sort of what some of these different types of tools are, but just because I know this is for massage therapists, a lot of this is very similar to massage therapy in that there are many massage modalities in the field. There are possibly hundreds of different massage modalities that you can learn. A lot of us know sort of the popular or the common ones that we've learned in school. And then if maybe there are some trending modalities around you that CE instructors are teaching or that other teachers are promoting, then you might become aware of other specific niche massage modalities. Well, you can kind of think of it the same way with frequency technologies and tools. There's different modalities. And that's exactly how I want you to think of this. This is just a whole other world of modalities that you could learn And just like we will take different trainings in massage, and maybe you could incorporate or blend different types of modalities in a session, you can do the same thing with frequency tools. So just think of this as like a whole other world of modalities, except that CE teachers aren't typically teaching this. Like I said, this is sort of new concept in that practitioners are bringing more of these tools into their practice. And so you generally won't be going to CE classes to learn these types of things unless people like myself start offering it. So it's none of this technology is new. The concepts of the frequency tools are not new, but bringing them into practice is still kind of new for massage therapists. So let me go into just why I think this is interesting for massage therapists. Why would you want to do this? Okay. For most massage modalities, we're using our hands, we're using our bodies, we're using our energy. Great. That's part of the reason why massage therapy is so effective, right? Human touch, human connection, human energy. That's something that we are designed to be responsive to, and it's wonderful and it's great. Great. My interest in frequency therapies was actually, how can I save my hands and my body and my energy? This is especially after someone like me working so many years, doing so many hours each week in practice, and really being concerned about burning myself out. That's a concern for all massage therapists is how much energy do we have to put out? You know, are we putting ourselves at risk for burnout with massage modalities alone? And so occasionally massage therapists will start to think of ways that they can be more efficient and more kind of body friendly and more energy efficient so that they can avoid burnout. So I think frequency tools are great because you're relying on the tool or the technology to do some of the work for you and to help with the clients getting them results. And it doesn't require your hands or your energy. So it's just a way to save your hands. We're always thinking about that. I also think it's interesting because, in my opinion, it's the next trend or it's the next wave of what practitioners are getting into. Okay. We go through these trends, and I'll mention some of what those are. Like cupping therapy, same thing. Cupping is not new. It's been around for thousands of years. Okay. But it became trendy when Michael Phelps showed up to the Olympics with cupping marks all over his back and he was the Olympic champion, right? All of a sudden, people were like, cupping? I think I want to practice cupping now all of a sudden. And then cupping exploded in the massage field and we were all getting trained on cupping and clients are now wanting cupping and cupping is a thing now. It's mainstream. Same thing happened with CBD. Now, CBD is not a massage modality, but CBD was trendy when it first came out. And the way massage therapists capitalize on the trend of CBD were through CBD salves and CBD oils. Cannabis is not new. Cannabis has been around since the beginning of time, probably. And so, like I said, these things are like waves or trends. There were even massage therapists that opened CBD massage clinics. And there are still massage therapists that use CBD in their practice as a topical. You know, they had whole services and whole sessions, whole practices with the idea of CBD. So all I'm saying, in my opinion, is the next trend or the next wave are these frequency medicine or frequency therapy tools. Okay. So as a business person, I'm interested in capitalizing on this. I have been interested in frequency tools before the trend, years ago, but I really think we're at this point right now, and you can see it online. If you're on Instagram, or if you're on social media, that word is a buzzword right now. All of a sudden, people are talking about raising your vibration, using sound, using light, using these different frequency devices. And all these companies are coming out with different tools all the time, capitalizing on this trend. So we're in the trend right now, is all I'm saying. Another thing that I feel like is interesting to massage therapists is that this could possibly be another revenue stream. Okay, we all are concerned about our bottom line. Yes. And so I'll explain a little more about how you can earn more towards the end of this, but let's just stay kind of focused for now on, okay, what different type of frequency tools and technologies are there out there? And all I'm going to do, this is just as if I was reading a long list of massage modalities. I'm going to just read different popular frequency modalities so you can just hear how it sounds, right? Okay, infrared. I already mentioned that. Infrared heat is popular in a mat form, typically, like an infrared mat that you lay on the table, or infrared saunas. You can buy infrared saunas. There are also some infrared handheld tools, although those are less popular. PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequency therapy. There are PEMF mats, same thing. There are PEMF handheld tools. And the main thing behind PEMF is that it's emitting a frequency that exposes the body, and there's different types of frequencies. So this gets like real scientific, and I'm not going to like explain every frequency technology in depth here, but I want to just kind of lay a good surface idea. So if you hear it, you have a general sense of what you know what it is. PEMF is really good at moving blood through the capillaries. So all the areas where we have poor circulation, this frequency helps to move the blood through the capillaries, and a lot more. So a lot of these benefits are similar. Circulation, which is obviously one of the benefits of massage therapy. So you can see how they're compatible, or they are, it makes sense that we're trying to improve circulation. We're trying to move energy. We're trying to move lymph. We're trying to soften the fascia tissue. We're trying to help relax the nervous system. And so all of these therapies have a lot of overlapping benefits. And so I'm not going to go too deep into all of the benefits as well, because, like I said, a lot of them are actually very similar to massage, and that's why it's complementary. Red light therapy is very popular for skin, and same thing, lots of benefits with red light, circulation, etc. There are frequency generators, which are very typically called Rife machines. And those are just machines that have different databases of frequencies for everything. So one thing that's interesting about Rife machines is they have a frequency for literally everything. You could have a frequency for fascia, a frequency for joint pain, a frequency for stress relief, a frequency for injuries. There's different frequencies that are geared towards specific parts of the body and will stimulate a certain response. And so you can get real specific with these frequency generators that are like Rife machines. There's frequency patches, which are wearable like stickers or patches you put in the body that are imprinted with different types of frequencies, like I mentioned. And so the body can actually absorb the frequency through a wearable patch. I think that's interesting for massage therapists. There's microcurrent, there's radio frequency, there's cold laser. Those are typically handheld tools. So you're using like some kind of laser over a joint, or a cold laser, or a current, microcurrent, or a radio frequency. Those are typically handheld tools, easy to use in a practice. Terahertz wands, those are handheld tools, easy to use in a practice. And by the way, the handheld tools are interesting because some of these trends, like for example, cupping, it's kind of hard to do cupping on yourself, right? Even though I can buy cups, and if I'm a client, I can put them on my own body, but it's hard to put them on your back, and it's hard to like really relax if you're trying to do it yourself. That's the same thing with a lot of these tools. These are sold to the general public, a lot of these tools and technology, so they can use them for their own self-care. But it's easier to have a practitioner do it for you, so you can just lay there and relax, and you don't have to do any of the work. Like same thing with fascia tools. Another trend I forgot to mention, the fascia blasters. Controversial topic amongst massage therapists, but it's a fascia tool that was marketed to the general public, not even to practitioners. But the general public was too tired and lazy to use the tool on themselves, because it took, energy and effort. And they would rather have a practitioner use the tool so they could just lay there and relax. Same kind of idea, right? That's what's nice to capitalize on some of these trends is when the general public likes the idea of it and they want to benefit from using it, but they would rather just lay there and have you do all the work. So that's what's great about the handheld tools. EMF harmonizers. This is like this concept of harmonizing your space, like the energy in the room itself. And especially a lot of us are working in town amongst all the Wi-Fi and amongst all the cell towers. And so if you can have various EMF harmonizers, or there's even companies that will send a field of consciousness to your space. That's a little bit of a mouthful that I'll explain a little bit about that later. But essentially, you're trying to make the energy in the room itself healthier and more like nice for healing so that people aren't exposed to chaotic frequencies, right? So Wi-Fi is a chaotic frequency. It's harmful. Some people are even linking it now to cancers. It's carcinogenic. Same thing with cell towers. I used to have a treatment room and I'd look out the window and look at a big cell phone tower. I don't know. I didn't know at the time. There's so much more knowledge now about the harmful frequencies we're exposed to. But because of this awareness, companies are creating healing or helpful ways to mitigate all of these harmful frequencies. So an EMF harmonizer is just supposed to like make your energy field stronger so that it can withstand the harmful effects of Wi-Fi and chaotic frequencies. There are also grounding blankets. These are interesting. These are where you connect it either literally into the ground or into a grounding part of your socket, which then connects into the ground, and it makes you feel like you're on the earth, absorbing all of that good energy from the earth. Grounding, there's lots of science and research around that. Again, that's mimicking nature, of course. So grounding blankets, grounding mats, and things like that. Now, I just mentioned fields of consciousness. Okay, you'd have to really get up to speed about this whole idea through David Hawkins' work. And he has like mapped out different states of consciousness from sort of low level to enlightenment. And now through the quantum field, some of this gets into the quantum field. Some of this is just hard science. Some of this is more like quantum science. So these worlds kind of go like this. But anyway, fields of consciousness being sent to your space or to your body or to your phone, that's in the quantum space for sure. Something that I have looked into before is FLFE, Focused Life Force Energy, or quantum upgrade through the company Lila Quantum. They're experimenting with this idea. And again, it's just supposed to make us more resilient. If we are being weakened, or our energies are exposed to chaotic, harmful frequencies, these healing frequencies or these healing states of consciousness are supposed to make us more resilient and robust against these things so that we can thrive, so that we can heal. Chi machines, that's kind of an old school one. Have you ever seen those machines where you have your ankles in this little kind of cradle thing and it moves you like this? Technically, that's not really a frequency therapy, but it's a health technology. It's mimicking actually salmon swimming upriver. It's supposed to move all the energy in your body. They're lovely. Those are kind of old school. I still like them. And then sound therapy. Sound therapy. Therapists incorporating sound therapy. There's a variety of different ways you can do that. Most of us actually play music, and most of us play high vibration healing frequency music if it's using like natural instruments, or if the music comes from a sound healer itself, designed to put people in different states. There's brainwave music. So you can actually just play sound healing music out of your speaker. That's easy. Or you can use real sound healing instruments in your practice, like some people use singing bowls. A lot of people use tuning forks. Tuning forks are really great, but these do require some training and obviously some investment, especially the singing bowls can be quite pricey if you're getting all of the notes. Sound therapy can be used through what else? I use a technology where the client speaks into the software and then it generates music based on their voice to create balancing hertz and tones, like kind of a binaural effect. Binaural beats is a sound healing therapy. So you could also put headphones on a client during a session at some point in the session if you want them to have like an immersive sound healing experience or like a meditation of some kind. There's light therapy. I mentioned red light already. That's very popular. Red light can actually just be a lamp. It can be a mat. They have red light and everything nowadays. A red light can be a handheld tool. But I've also seen really interesting ways that massage therapists have used like chakra lights. There's a different light for each chakra, and it's like a light device that's over the table, and it shines these different colored lights onto the client. So light is really interesting. There's also these contraptions where it kind of shines light in their eyes, giving them almost like a DMT trip, like as if they were on drugs. Supposed to be like a drugless experience just using light and sound. I find that fascinating. I'm actually sharing with you a lot of things that I've heard and I'm aware of and that I actually want to try, but some of these I haven't tried myself. I just know that they exist and it's out there. Vibroacoustic is where you're laying on something that emits sound and you're feeling the vibration of the sound while you're laying on it. So vibroacoustic is typically like a sound bed or a sound mat that you put on the bed. And it's really about, feeling the vibrations and the like the resonance of the music in your body. So those are what vibroacoustic. I definitely consider that a frequency therapy. And then there are actually lymph tools that use frequency. There's a woman here who uses some kind of lymph machine. It's like a little handheld wand thing, and it uses a frequency to move the lymph system. And I've heard that there are also machines for fascia as well using frequency. So that is where it kind of crosses over with the bodywork world, where it's specifically targeting lymph or fascia using a frequency in these specific machines. So those are all modalities that I've heard. And I think I'm just scratching the surface because these are the typical, like popular things that I mentioned. There are plenty of others that are a little more unknown. And so occasionally people will message me and they want to know if I know everything under the sun. I don't know everything under the sun, but I know the common things and what's popular. And so what I just mentioned are the common, most popular ways that people bring frequency therapies or tools into their practice. Now, those are modalities, but there is a whole other category of screenings where you're actually learning information from somebody based on their frequencies or their energies. And so this is like a separate category that you may or may not be interested in depending on what kind of practitioner you are. I call these health screenings. Bioresonance scans are a type of scan that scans the energy fields in the body. It compares them to these ideal blueprints. And then it tells you if you're in balance or you're out of balance. And you have a detailed report. These are the areas that you're out of balance. And then it will also send them through scalar wave. Scalar wave is another thing I forgot to mention. Scalar wave is becoming a little more available. And the way that this bioresonance machine works is that it uses scalar waves and right frequencies to correct someone back to balance. So it's basically a report telling someone more information about themselves. And another type of screening is thermography. That's where it reads the inflammation in your body. There's biofeedback, there's neurofeedback. And so, like I said, these are helping someone learn about their body. It's not a modality, it's education. This is more, I think, good for a therapist who is possibly a little more health coach minded, where you're trying to help someone learn about their body and then you're giving them helpful lifestyle advice to improve what they're seeing on these reports, right? Because um, if you're not going to help them improve, then you just tell them to go take it to like a health coach or their functional medicine doctor or whoever. So if you're a multi disciplined type of practitioner where you're maybe doing like nutrition or health coaching, or maybe you're in school to do some kind of natural medicine like naturopathy or homeopathy, you want to definitely look into this category of screenings, right? Bioresonance scans, thermography scans, biofeedback, and neurofeedback. But they're all kind of still in the frequency genre. Okay. So I just gave you guys a bunch of different ideas about what's out there. And even amongst all of these types of modalities, there are different companies. And so it is a little bit overwhelming and daunting to kind of sort through all of this when you're first starting. But now, just like the massage field, you can go down these rabbit holes and keep learning and keep researching. And you might want to, I highly suggest trying these things for yourself. If there are practitioners around you, maybe they're not massage therapists, maybe they are functional medicine doctors or chiropractors using these types of technologies in their practice, then maybe you can try it out, see how you feel, see if you like it. And by the way, a lot of these other practitioners are using these things: physical therapists, chiropractors, functional medicine doctors, even acupuncturists sometimes, and massage therapists a little bit. I'm trying to really encourage massage therapists to use these things more so, just like other health practitioners. Um, yeah. So how would you, what's an example now? We need some concrete examples of like, how exactly are we going to bring this into a massage practice? I'm going to share with you two ways. You're either going to integrate it into a massage session, or you're going to create a whole session by itself that's just frequency and no massage, hands off. Okay. So here's where I'm going to just share with you some of my examples. When I first started, I just put an infrared mat on my table. That was it. That was easy. And I do think that's actually the easiest way to get started, is just switch out your mat. Most massage therapists have some kind of heating fleece pad or a heating mat of some kind on their table, especially if you live in the colder climates. Nobody wants to be freezing to death while they're on a massage table. I don't. I'm one of those clients that's always cold. So I want all the heat cranked up and all the blankets, please. Otherwise, I'm going to be shivering the whole session, which is unfortunate when something like that will ruin a session for somebody, uh, you know, just from temperature alone. But anyways, the regular heating pads that most massage therapists have on their table are emitting harmful EMFs. I'm sorry, I did the same thing, but once we know better, now we know that there are more therapeutic options. So switching out your mat is so easy. There are different types of mats out there, from pure infrared. There is combinations of infrared PEMF, and red light, chakra stones. Okay, and there's different price points. So you can do some research and go down the rabbit hole, but I'll just throw out some company names. There's Richway with the Amethyst Biomat. That's the one I use. There's also Healthy Line Products. There's also Higher Dose. There's also something called Sparkle Mat. And I'm also promoting now a different mat called the Solex Infinity Mat. So there are a variety of options at different price points. You do want to find one with an EMF blocker on it. I just think if you're going to have the therapeutic frequencies and the healing frequencies, you want to block off the EMFs, right? So some of these, many of them also have an EMF blocker, and that's how you're going to know which one to pick. And then you want to put some kind of like padding over it so that it's comfortable. Typically, these have crystals, and them crystals are wonderful for healing, but they're hard and they're not comfortable. So you want some kind of cushiony pad. I use something called a quantum pad, or you could use like a real fleece pad. That's fine as well. So the mats are, so like I said, the easy way to start. Then if you want to look into patches, maybe that's the next thing that I got into, are the frequency patches, because I would do my massage and then at the end, I would wipe off some of the oil in areas where I wanted to place the frequency patch. And it's low cost typically, they're not super expensive, and you can have it as like a way for the client to receive frequency therapy. It doesn't take much time except for you putting stickers on their body. You can charge an add-on fee, and then they're going to walk out with, several days longer therapy because of these patches giving them a frequency treatment. It just would help their results last longer as they're leaving your session. So frequency patches, I think, are really easy. I use AOScan subscription with Cephi dots. This is where I can program the dots myself. LifeWave is really popular. ANF is actually popular in Europe, amino neurofrequency therapy. It's kind of now that is a modality you do have to do trainings for. So LifeWave, you don't need trainings for. AOScan, Cephi dots, you don't need trainings for, in terms of like going through levels of training. The company will teach you basic training to get started. And I also teach some training on at least that modality as well. So yeah, the mats are easy, the patches are easy. And then if you want to go into some of these other ideas with lights, sound, you're going to pick what resonates for you, just like you did with massage, okay? Just like you chose certain massage modalities that resonate with you, that are intriguing to you, you're going to be picking different frequency therapies and tools and technologies that make sense with what you're already doing in your practice or what resonates for you. Okay. So the next thing that I got involved in is a frequency generator. And that is where I was able to access a database of frequencies that I could broadcast to my client's body. This is the AOScan subscription. And it gives me just kind of a variety of different modalities. So it has the custom sound therapy music. It has the ability for me to broadcast frequencies to my client's energy field. It gives me the ability to imprint my own patches. So that one's kind of like an all-in-one, if you will. It gives me a lot of options and modalities. And that's the next thing that I brought in. So then when a client came into my practice, this is how the session would go. Today, we're using some frequency therapies integrated into your massage. This is just going to enhance the effects of your massage session. And so I'm going to need to do a voice recording first. And then I would either play that music, or I would just go ahead and email the file to them and they can listen to the sound therapy music later. And then I would also create a list. So just like we do with our intake, like, how are you feeling today? Like, what's going on with your body? What are we working with today? Oh, my neck hurts. I have a headache. My feet hurt. And I'm having problems with my digestion. I can actually create a frequency playlist with neck pain, foot pain, digestion, whatever their issues are. I can create specific frequencies for them and broadcast that to their energy field. Now, I'm just saying that like that's every day. It is every day to me. But how does it actually do that? So this is a sort of a quantum entanglement idea where this technology has the ability to put in their information, listen to their voice, and then it knows where they are in time and space. Just similar, like I can type in your cell phone number, and then my phone is going to find your phone throughout time and space. Isn't that amazing? We take that for granted. I'm on Zoom right now. You're on Zoom right now. We all entered the same link, right? So health technology has gotten where we're at with this. Just like in communication, telecommunication, I can type in someone's profile information, their name, their height, their weight, their birth date, their picture, their voice, and it finds them and it sends them healing frequencies that we create on a list. And so I kind of call it like a prayer, a frequency prayer or a digital prayer, if you will. Just like we have that ability. Again, it's mimicking us. Now, I will say, in my mind, frequency medicine and energy medicine are a little different. This is my definition, just to make things a little easier to understand. To me, energy medicine is human to human. We have the ability to heal each other. We are born that way. Whether it's activated or not, we all have this gift. Some of us actually activate it and develop it. And then we're more powerful utilizing that skill as healers. And that's human to human. That's energy medicine. That's energy from human to human. The frequency that I'm talking about are more tools and technologies created by humans, by the way, but it's more of like a technology to human versus human to human. Now, with energy medicine, I still feel like obviously we're wanting to develop ourselves, our own abilities. I don't want to take away from that. And I don't want to take away from the importance of touch, connecting human to human. But even with energy transference between human to human, doing strict energy work, not even body work, there's still an entanglement, right? There's still like, I'm connected with this person, they're connected with me, we're affecting each other. There's still this going on. With the technology, it's a little more clean cut. It's like the technology is entangled with the client and less entanglement with me. This is again a little bit of where I became interested in not burning out. And I almost wanted more of a boundary between me and my clients. Again, especially if you're doing this, full time and maybe you've been doing this for a long time. Maybe you want a little more separation between you and the client where the tools can do the work for you. And there's less pulling on you, right? So to me, this is even interesting for an energy healer who's doing human to human energy healing. If you want more of a separation or of a boundary there, just so that you're not being pulled on so much, you can let the technology do it. So going back to my session, I would then broadcast frequencies to the client's field. And like I said, in my mind, because the technology is sending them these frequencies on a subtle level, the client is pulling on me less. Okay. This is just kind of one idea of how you can utilize these tools to do some of the work for you. You're going to feel less burned out afterwards. Okay. But also the combination of the human and the tools together is pretty powerful, right? Because let's face it, some days we're feeling it and we're like we are in flow and everything is amazing in session. We should all aspire for that every session. Some days we're not walking into session in a perfect state of flow, and maybe we want to rely on tools a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Maybe you're not feeling so great, or maybe you hurt your hand. I don't know. You have some options here if you have tools to use. Okay. So it's practical. It's like, this is a tool. This computer is a tool. These frequency devices are tools, just supposed to make our life easier, right? So if you're going to create a frequency session, like I said, you could do any combination of things that you want to put together. Now, some of these things stand on their own. Like the next thing I brought in was a terahertz wand. And terahertz is just a handheld tool and it's blowing terahertz frequencies. That's it. That has actually like really gotten popular. Terahertz frequencies, if you just type that in, so many people love this frequency. And like I said, some of these people don't want to do it themselves. They would rather go to a practitioner that will just do it for them. You could have a whole session that's just terahertz. That's it. You're just going like this during a session, blowing terahertz frequencies on people's bodies. There's some amazing testimonies for all of these technologies. Okay. So it's like, what's exciting about this? The excitement is the results. I mean, even specifically with terahertz speeds up the process of healing and it gets rid of abnormal cells in the body, which we're not allowed to make claims, right? We're never allowed to say it treats or cures or diagnoses anything, but people are healing from all kinds of things. So is it a coincidence? No, but that's why I really like this is it's powerful. You can get some powerful results. I mean, terahertz is great for pain relief. There's some stories where people have lumps in their breast tissue disappear. A woman who didn't have her period for 4 years all of a sudden got her period. Just crazy stories on and on for many of these different tools, by the way. So that was the last thing that I kind of added was terahertz. And so that's my combination. I've got an infrared mat on the table. I have my AO scan frequencies that I broadcast like a digital prayer, plus the sound therapy and the patches. And I use the terahertz wand. And that's sort of my unique combination of what I use. But you could use any combination of, tools as well. So I know another therapist who has those chakra lights that she uses, and she uses singing bowls, and she has a biomat on the table. And so she's put together her combination of different frequency therapies that she thinks are cool. And, like I said, it's literally just like massage modalities. If you want to put together whatever combination of things that would be interesting and fun for you. I'm actually going to be offering these as standalone sessions without massage now. And this is where, if you want to be totally hands off at some point or offer it as an option, you don't even have to use your hands. You can just be there using a handheld tool, or in some cases, you can set up a client on the table, leave the room, kind of like an acupuncturist does, let the tools do the work, and then come back in at the end of the session. And that's it. So I think, like I said, I like this idea for massage therapists. I feel like most of us get so stuck in a box of how we think we have to work, and you just don't have to. You can explore these other options for yourself. And it makes it more interesting if you are currently bored with how you're working, or maybe you're thinking about capitalizing on a trend, or maybe you were already thinking of some of these tools and maybe apprehensive, and this is your encouragement to go ahead and try it. So let's go now to the bottom line part of this. How are we gonna earn with these things? Pricing, just like massage therapy, is going to be unique to what it depends on what you bring in. Now let's talk about the pricing too. Maybe you bring in like a $20,000 sound healing bed. I don't know. Maybe you decided to invest in something like that. You should charge a decent amount for those sessions, because you need to get your investment back. That's how I feel. Now, the tools that I promote to massage therapists are usually like a middle price point. So you do have like cheap knockoffs. When it comes to frequency tools and technology, you don't ever really want to go for the cheapest option typically. And the reason why is quality, and the reason why is we're trying to get results. Now, something like tuning forks, like that's fine. Those are low cost. They're tuning forks. You don't need like the most expensive tuning forks, but some of these tools that you plug in, or that are, like more powerful, you don't want to go for the cheapest option. Now, you might not want to go for the most expensive option because it gets into tens of thousands of dollars. There are some scalar wave places that the investment is $100,000 to put in scalar wave machines throughout your whole room. Something called EE system is like what I'm referring to. And it's amazing to be in a room where these machines are blasting you with these really strong frequencies. But yeah, most massage therapists don't have $100,000 to invest in an EE system franchise. So I kind of go for anywhere from like $400 to maybe $4,000 price range. There's a lot of good stuff in that price range. You really don't have to spend 10,000 plus on something unless you really want to. You can. But going back to the pricing of this, because you're investing potentially several thousand into something, I would not charge that much lower than your massage rate. If you're just trying to put it out there and start getting people to try it, it's okay to do a little bit of a lower price point, especially if it's a standalone session, like you're not even doing massage. I would say, especially if you're not even doing massage and it's just frequencies, you can try it at a lower price point, a little bit lower than your massage, because it's still your time. We're not trying to lose money here, right? But the interesting thing about some of these tools where you can actually make up the money is if the clients buy these tools from you. Some of these are through network marketing, or MLM, multi-level marketing. Some of these are through affiliate marketing, where they give you a link or the ability to earn commissions. I would say most companies have those options at this point. And if you are interested in having this as a revenue stream of products or tools that you sell to clients, then you want to actually go for the ones that are either affiliate or network marketing, because they will give you some money when you sell them. Okay. If you're not interested in that, you're not interested in that, but I'm talking about money here. So some of these can be add-ons. If it's like, do you want to add on a frequency therapy to your session today for an additional $25, $45, $50? Or you could just, if you know you want to add these into your sessions, every session, just integrate it into every single one, you can raise your rates and say, because this session has so much value, I'm including, David likes when I say bells and whistles. I'm including these bells and whistles of frequency therapies and tools. Now this is way beyond a standard massage. We're in a whole other category of stacking multiple levels of healing on top of each other, so that justifies a higher price point. You can either raise altogether. So the ways that you can earn are raising altogether if you're going to include it in every session, or if you want to have it as an option, it can be an add-on fee if the client wants to add it to a session. Or it could be a standalone session all by itself, where you're not using your hands, they're just on the mat, or they're just exposed to the frequencies in the room. Then you can charge for that. And if you have the ability to earn a commission through network marketing or affiliate marketing and selling these tools to your clients for self-care, or they can use it at home, then you can earn that way as well. Now, one more way that you can earn, and this is the only way that I'm aware of. I don't know if there are other companies that have this option, but I became aware that the AO Scan subscription is the way that you can earn residual income, and you can work remotely. So this to me was the first time that I've ever even been open or exposed to the idea of residual or passive income coming in. So when someone is signed up for a software subscription, this is just a software you can use on your phone or your laptop. They're paying a certain amount each month. And because they're paying that software subscription each month, then the practitioner gets a portion of that. And as long as they're on the software every month, you're getting paid every month. You know, to me, as a massage therapist, that's the first time that that was the first time I learned how to earn without putting my hands on people. This is what I really want to bring home to massage therapists. And I'm going to speak way more in depth about this concept in my next workshop, Multiple Revenue Streams for LMTs. So, but just so you know, I'm aware of one way you can earn passive through a frequency tool, which is the AO Scan subscription. So to recap this whole thing, frequency tools, frequency therapies, it's not new. A lot of this is inspired from nature. A lot of this is inspired from what's already happening in the universe. Okay. A lot of these things were already being used by governments, by astronauts, by scientists, engineers, and then a lot of it has now made its way to the general public, us, and we can utilize it for our own personal self-care. We can utilize it in our clients' sessions to help them get better results, save our hands, earn more potentially, depending on how you structure your pricing, and it's capitalizing on a trend. So that's why I think frequency tools are interesting for massage therapists. That's why I'm excited about them. And now I'm going to go ahead and open it up for question and answer.